Hello, everybody. My name is Lisa DiCristina, independent wellbeing educator for preteens, former LCSW, and author of Raising PreTeens Right, a 3-year psychoeducational program to help preteens learn how to have mental wealth during that second window of opportunity in their preteen years so they can have vitality in their teenage years and throughout their life. This is a 3-year program. There are 9 chapters a year. It really holds the preteen's hand through the 3 years from 10 to 13, 11 to 14 in that preteen age, where they have 9 chapters a year. The first year is foundations. The second year is expanding on themes. And the third year is adding more complexity and independent study. So that scaffolding teaching approach, we approach personal development from a holistic viewpoint. We're helping you have meaningful conversations with your preteen, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, socially, physically. We know we're in the middle of a loneliness epidemic, mental health crisis, and with the increase of AI, things are predicted to get worse. This is very important that we intercept in that window of child development and that we are strategically guiding them with structured skill building to increase their vitality, not just the absence of mental illness or mental health symptoms, but nurturing their sense of self and independence and confidence and resilience. How are we doing that for our preteens strategically? Today, we're briefly touching on chapter 18, which is in the middle of the program, year 2, and we're talking about self-perception. Self-perception is so important in terms of teaching them healthy self-navigation, right? Self-perception. Your own personal view based on your own interpretations and judgments of information available through mental, emotional, social, and spiritual aspects and how these aspects interact with one another. We want to empower that preteen to form their own view and own interpretation of themselves, which we know will fluctuate based on their mood, their hormones, their social connections, whether they feel like they belong or what happened in their friendships. Their development of their self, their sense of self and their confidence, we know is going to fluctuate very much during their preteens. But how do we strategically teach them how to develop the healthy sense of self? One of the ways is within their personal development, teaching them how to work with their self-perception. And most teenagers have no idea. They'll go through all of high school, they'll go through their wellness classes, they have no idea how to have mental wealth. What that means, how to even gain a healthy self-perception. They're so preoccupied and distracted with the screen and looking towards the cultural trends for that and not knowing, and they're constantly in that battle of forming their self-identity and fitting in with their peers and all of the screens and all of the unhealthiness that comes with it. So it's really important that we teach them how to go within and develop a healthy self-perception, how they feel about themselves, how they think about themselves, how they want to behave socially, what kind of relationships they want to construct, how they feel about their relationship with God, how do they develop that relationship with the Holy Spirit, how do they become spiritually fit and sound and strong. Very important. We know science shows us that your spiritual relationship, your faith, absolutely influences your mental health, your thoughts, your emotions. It's all tied together. We're biopsychosocial spiritual. In this chapter 18, we talk to them about all of that, how these external factors are conditioning their internal self-perception and how to strategically guide their thoughts and their faith and their emotions into a place of well-being. How do they form that self-perception, regardless of what their peers are thinking or how they're trying to pressure them to do things, or how they might want to fit in, but they might have that feeling in their gut that that's really not me. That's really not the self that I want to build. They might just want to go along with it for the peer pressure of it. We want to help them navigate through that battle. It's so hard nowadays. They're under so much pressure in the process of self-discovery during their preteens and teenage years because they're constantly bombarded with information. It's information overload, opinion overload, and they're trying to fit in while maintaining their individuality. We want to help them through this phase, and we want to teach them about self-perception, to develop a healthy self-image while navigating peer pressure, including social media. We see a lot of unhealthiness in their self-perception during this age, in how they view their body image and how they view their perfectionism, because of the fact that social media is just inundating them with that idea of unrealistic expectations or unrealism, especially with AI, right? There's unrealistic expectations. There's this fabricated, unrealistic reality that they're leaning more into AI and AI chatbots, and they're detaching more and more from what's real and what's true in our human connections, and what's pure and what's noble and what's right and what's in your heart and your spirit and in your human relationships, in their social relationships. They're leaning more and more on the screen. Statistics show 18 million young people and young adults are leaning into AI for that false sense of reality. And out of that, 63% are not disclosing to their parents or caregivers that they're looking to AI for emotional support and mental health advice. That's very, very scary. We need to strategically build up the skills that not only help them shape their self-perception, but preserve a healthy sense of self and build that healthy sense of self-identity formation during their teenage years. We treated personal development as a subject. This needs to be treated as a subject during their preteen years. Social emotional learning is in our personal development program. Mental health is in our personal development program. Emotional regulation, emotional intelligence, spiritual development. It's all of it wrapped into personal development as a subject, so you can have the meaningful conversations with your child or your youth group, or if you're a community organization leader, you can help preteens strategically develop that sense of purpose and meaning and fulfillment in their life from within. We have to strategically lift up the next generation with meaning and purpose and self-motivate them to do so. They're so lonely. We have to combat this loneliness epidemic. They're missing that social connection. They go to AI because they don't have the social connection skills. They go to AI because they're lonely. They lean on AI. AI makes it more lonely for them. So we're perpetuating this very unhealthy cycle that we need to intercept, because we're already in a mental health crisis that's predicted to get worse. So I'm imploring you, if you're a preteen, to think about becoming a facilitator in our program. It is the best program you'll ever invest in. For what I would get paid for an hour of psychotherapy, this program is the same price for 3 years. And we're building mental wellness. We're either avoiding them or reducing the symptoms for mental illness. We want to keep our children out of the system and give them what they need. We don't want to build and keep building those cultural subscribers in this next generation, that they're leaning on the culture so much and the trends and the phenomenons and the dishonest messaging. We really want them to lean into the power of faith, the power of their own truth inside, and their mental wealth and well-being, social emotional well-being. We need to build that up. Please visit us for more information about facilitating our program. It's the best investment. There's so much worry with our young people that we need to worry less and guide more. Thank you for listening.